I know that some of you guys still watch triggering content. I mean, we all do it, especially when you're really deep into ed. And I think it's a bad habit. I just wanted to share that I've done it before. I don't do it anymore because when you start to recover, it gets to a point where it's boring. Like you just want to live your life, looking shit up, fascinating over, all that stuff. So eventually the need will go away, but if you want to recover, or if you don't want ed to be the story of your life, which you shouldn't want that because it's boring and there's so much more things we could, focus on. And I feel like a lot of us seek triggers to encourage the bad habits, but sometimes there's a lot of reasons for it. That's why I don't want this to come off as like I'm judging you guys. It's more of encouragement to stop, because it's not gonna let you get anywhere. Well, honestly, for me, I didn't really know about toxic websites about ed. So I kind of was like a boomer at that point. I'm like way older than you guys, and I'm not very technology like lucky. I have bad luck with technology. I break computers, I break printers, I break everything. So that's why I'm like uncomfortable using technology. So that is why I didn't really, I haven't been very comfortable with, websites and stuff unless I saw somebody do it, or, so I kind of was late to that. By the time I was deep in ed and I wanted to search up triggering things, I had to be more secretive about it because all the seek for help and stuff like that would pop up instead. And I found myself instead like finding stuff like 500-Pound Life, stuff like that would trigger me. So I would just watch those shows. But because I was convinced I was going to gain weight and be a burden to my family. So I would watch that to kind of stop me. And that also, like making food, breaking down food, and like watching people make food triggered me in a weird way. It made me feel like if I couldn't allow myself to eat something, maybe I could make it and that would satisfy me, which was kind of torture because I was still hungry. But stuff like this never really got me anywhere. And if you consider recovery, you'll realize that it was kind of, it was Ed making you do this. It's really him. At the end of the day, it's just this incel that won't let you go. Now, the thing about triggers is when you trigger yourself, there's many reasons for it, but I feel like it was mainly, for me, it was validation for how I was feeling. When you look up restrictive eating or whatever the hell people would name it on YouTube and all that stuff. You look it up so it gives you validation for how you feel. Somebody that understands this need of ours to, self-destruct in the same way too. It's also a distraction from what's really going on. It helps us feel like we're not alone. It's comforting. So it's not like, I don't think it's something that's like, when you tell somebody that doesn't know about this or doesn't understand it, obviously they're going to think we're crazy. But I get it. I get it. It's comforting. It's familiar. It's that old friend that cusses you out every time and you wonder why you're still hanging around, but you can't seem to let them go. So that's kind of what it is. But it makes you think that you can't be without him. So it's really hard to let it go, especially when all these videos, or like triggering pictures and all this stuff is so easily accessible to all of us, because it's like you don't even have to search for a trigger anymore. They just find you, which isn't good. But I have to park. Oh my god, this car is so freaking close to me. What the freaking shit? What is the point? We're going straight, like, for the red light. I don't understand why they have to be so close. I want to look at them. Freaking asshole. Stupid kid. It's not my fault you're late for high school, stupid bitch. Another thing is control. I think we're looking for a sense of control. Like, I tell you what you're going to eat to our body, even though our body's eventually gonna, survival instincts are gonna kick in. I keep staring at that kid. I hate when people are so, like, annoying on the road. Pinche mierda. I hate everybody, dude. It's like I would go to the slow lane, but everybody's like passing me from the slow lane. I'm going at 50, and I don't think we're supposed to be going that fast here, but everybody else. I'm pretty sure that, like, I could get pulled over for speeding, and I would, just because I'm the easiest to catch since everybody else is overdoing it. So somehow there was an error, and we couldn't accept what we were going through, whatever it is, and now it's our coping mechanism got accidentally programmed to be food related, which sucks because it's everywhere. It's everything you do. I don't know if you haven't noticed, but when you're far in your head, all of a sudden you can't be around people because everybody eats. Everybody wants to eat. Everybody's around food. It's always about food. I remember I hated it, and now it's like I don't care. I even want people to mention food, like it's like, oh, thank God I don't have to hide about it. It's so uncomfortable. But yeah, like this like it teaches you to stay away from everybody, and it sucks. But there we go again, searching for triggers with anything we can find. I'm kind of glad I couldn't search up things that, would make me more. It kind of gives Ed a voice. It's like giving Ed a microphone so he can, like, talk your ear off as if he wasn't already annoying the shit out of you. So it's kind of like that. I gotta get out of here. Everybody's so annoying today on the road. It's like extra annoying. I don't know what's going on. Is today something special? It's like a weekend. Let's see if I can get myself a coffee.
Welcome to Dunkin'. Will you be using the mobile app today?
No.
Doing now?
Thank you. I wonder if they can see you. I don't know if they can see you. I don't think they can. I want to see if they can see this. I don't know why I'm whispering. I still have to go. Okay. I can't even see the thing. I look like shit. I look like I live in the sewer. Does this go back up? Oh my God, it does. Okay, I can continue talking to you guys. The problem with seeking out triggers, we already know. We're looking for them so we can continue the pattern of getting sick. I feel like that's what I did it a lot of the time. It would motivate me to do the bad thing, which was not good. And I never want to do that again. Yeah, just so you know, it's only gonna stop your progress from recovery. I know that once you get, well, at least for me, when I got to a certain point, something would trigger me, or I would see something like that would have sent me over the edge, but like you get bored really quickly.
It's 8:30 today.
Okay, so I'm gonna park where I usually do, even though I hate it when I park there. I want to talk in my garage. In my garage, I'm just kidding. But someone's always like, I always feel like someone's gonna see me. So when I used to look at triggers, I think I slowly stopped because I think I got to the point where I knew that it wasn't good, and it was only gonna make things worse, and I didn't want to be a person who, had an ed, because it's not, from the outside perspective, it's so easy to say, oh, you just want to be skinny. And I don't want people to think that was the reason. I think it would have made me feel a little bit better if people understood that this was more than just a look. I wanted to punish myself. I felt like I wasn't good enough for everybody in my life, and I thought, hey, I'm gonna stop punishing myself and just remove myself from people's life. Like, I'm not gonna seek them out. And I think replacing our painful, self punishment with an actual positive or healthy habit will kind of replace it in a way and help it stop. The worst part is I really did think a lot of people that I was around were good for me, but see, the thing is, it's like, I'm not trying to say they were all toxic. I think they're very smart people, a lot of them, but I just think we're not a good mix. And it's not a coincidence when that now that I'm the most alone and isolated from literally anybody, I'm actually better mentally, if that makes sense. Like, it's weird because I always thought like, oh no, I rather like be around people that don't like me, that don't value me, than be completely alone, because that would be worse, because I thought Ed would be worse, but it wasn't, because a lot of the times when you understand what triggers you without you seeking a trigger, it just happens to you personally, you can kind of try to fight it or avoid it or cut it out. And that's what I did. A lot of people in my life that we were very different people, it always spiraled. Every time they were around, I would spiral to my worst. And when I'm not around these people, I tend to feel better about myself. And I thought it was so strange because I really thought that I was, the only bad thing. It was always me. But turns out not everybody's your person, obviously, but even just a little bit, and you want to be close to people, but we have to stop forcing it. And I think replacing bad habits with good ones, or even just yellow, like not super green habits, like you don't have to like, this whole of eating super clean is toxic, I think. But for example, one thing I did was I replaced toxic habits with self-care habits. I used to be really into self-care when I was younger. I was in elementary. I started washing my face and doing a skin routine because I think I had pretty bad acne starting middle school. So I got really into skincare elementary, and then late elementary all the way to middle school. I had really bad acne, but once I started doing skincare, I got really well. Like, my skin got really clear. I really liked it. It was definitely something that felt myself. There's very little things I feel like we feel our full selves. I don't know if you guys ever watched that Disney cartoon movie. I think it's called Soul. Well, where they reach like that moment where they're super distracted and completely focused on something that makes them feel super good. I think we need to find that. Replacing your bad habits with healthier ones. And that's what I would do. Netflix is one of them. You could watch shows and stuff. The thing is about Ed, it's like it kind of like strips you away from yourself and your personality, and you lose your self-identity. So when you're kind of recovering, it's kind of weird because you're not the person you used to be before Ed, but you're also unknown. It's like you're blank again, but like now you have gone through all this shit with Ed that you don't know what is you and what was Ed. So you kind of have to like build yourself up again. Like, there are stuff I used to like that I don't like anymore. Like, I don't really like to draw as much anymore. I used to like that shit. And I don't think it's Ed's fault. It's more of like, well, it has something to do with that, but it's also like time changes us. And when something like Ed, I feel like a lot of issues that affect us so badly, they kind of freeze us in time. Like, they don't let us continue exploring ourselves in life. So they kind of freeze you up. And by the time you're back, it's almost like, wait, who am I really? And you're left confused. That's what's like, you get to find out who you are again. And as soon as you let him go, or I guess the faster you let him go, the faster you get to find out who you are now. So, like, I didn't like avocado, and now I do. Like, I was one of those people that hated avocado, and I couldn't have it, and now I do. And it's strange. Like, even just something so small, and it changes so many parts of you, like whether it's what you like to eat or how you dress or just how you think about life. Like, back in the day, I used to think I wanted to get married and have kids, and now I feel like that would make me very unhappy. So it's strange how like Ed feels like it paused our life and it made us go through these like weird ups and downs for nothing. But once you start replacing those habits and stop seeking triggers to continue in, you get to start to live, you know? It's like a parasite that won't let you be healthy enough to live your life because you're so busy feeling the bad, the sickness. And once you finally get that parasite out, you can finally start living again, but you don't remember how it used to be before the parasite because it's not you anymore, you know? I replaced my habits of over exercising with self-care. Like I will, before Ed, I was into skincare somewhat, but not that much. And then I kind of started replacing my habits with other ones because you have to. I feel like when you have everybody that's prone to Ed and stuff like that tend to have a very obsessive mindset, like it's all or nothing. And for me it was definitely that. Like when I would be in school, I either got an A or I'd drop out. Like it was that bad. There's a hair on my nose I can't find. Either I passed with a very good score or I'm done, you know, and it's toxic, but that was kind of how it was. That's why I had to kind of get obsessed over something else. I had to try to get obsessed over other stuff and fill that so I don't start, you know, getting obsessed over Ed again, because the thing is, it's like what sucks is I feel like some of us tend to know that because we did it before, we can do it again. And that's why I kind of try to keep myself busy. But yeah, I don't look for triggers anymore, and I try to stay away from, you know, getting too involved with that. People that have a nice body and take pictures, I don't really tend to get triggered off of that unless I think it's very specific. I think if I eat and something happens that makes me miserable, I tend to blame myself for things a lot. Like if I got into a fight with somebody, I want to punish myself for the argument because I don't know, I just feel like it takes two to mess things up and I could have just shut the hell up. You know what I mean? But I need to stop with that because the thing is, it's like self-blame is also living in a victim mindset. So see, this is why we have to investigate literally everything, the way we think, always. And it does help if you write it out. It's also like I talk to myself a lot. Like right now I'm talking to myself. You guys aren't really here yet. If you want to figure out what your triggers are, you could talk to yourself to figure it out. It's not going to help us in any way, and you're probably going to still look for them. Like me telling you this isn't going to change anything because you already know this. It's not something crazy. I just wanted to remind everybody that I know that some of you guys are still seeking out triggers, and I'm not here to judge you. Like, you know, it's part of Ed. I feel like the parasite, he wants you to think that he makes you something, but it's like you're gonna continue being nothing with him around. And it sucks. It sounds harsh, but it's really how it is. I was nothing. I did nothing. I could not even get, like, eventually I couldn't even work. That's how bad it was. I was so depressed, and I never want to go back there again, even if I was, you know, punishing myself constantly, and that felt a little bit better. Like my self-blame eased off if I was punishing myself. But it's like, why? I just needed to stop taking myself so seriously sometimes. I always think in obsession's maze, grow, don't shrink. And we're literally trying to shrink. Try to find an obsession that makes you grow. Like, why don't we obsess over building ourselves? There's so many people in the world that I tried to help build, but I never thought, what if I gave myself a chance? You know, it's so stupid. It's like I could have been building myself this whole time. And no, I just kept tearing myself down. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of us are doing this right now. That's why the next time you go on and look for triggers, just remember that you could help yourself grow mentally, emotionally, anything, financially, but instead you want to shrink. You want to keep shrinking, and that sucks. I think it's so 2014. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know when that shit was going on. But I hear a lot of like, there was like a lot of toxic forums back in the past or whatever. But yeah, I want to go home. That's all I really have to say about triggers, other than if you're still gonna do it, I guess, you know, that's on you. You're responsible for yourself. There was this forum I joined a long time ago on Instagram that I thought would help me kind of feel understood, but instead people were just sick all the time, and it was depressing. It really was. I hated it, to be honest. Till this day, I didn't have the guts to like get out of it. I think I'm still like in it. Please let me pass, sir. But I just couldn't go in there anymore. I remember I got a little bit like annoyed because this girl on there, I don't know who it was. Maybe you're watching this too, but this girl got help from her mom to have like therapy or something like that, and oh my god, a cop just saw me do something illegal. Don't pull me over. I'm poor. I can't afford to pay a ticket. She got help to go to like recovery or something like that, and she just didn't take advantage of it. And I was just jealous, to be honest, because I'm like, my mom doesn't care like that much. I mean, my mom doesn't really know because we're not like that, you know? Like, me and my mom, like, now recently we're pretty close than we ever been, but we were never close growing up. And I say growing up because we were both growing up because she was young, you know? I was just like, damn, you get help? Like, people care about you? All I got was, like, pointers, like, oh, see, you still look like this and this, you know, like that critical shit. It just felt like people were competing and encouraging it. And I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I already feel like shit. My voice in my head, the Ed that was still in there, was already doing this to me 24/7. I didn't need it from like a random group. I really do hope they're better now. And if you're one of those people that was in that group, I am so sorry I ditched you guys, but I couldn't handle it anymore. I just couldn't. Today, I'm actually, ever since I got into a fight with somebody at work and decided to run out, I ran out because I swear I got so angry. I'm like, I do not want to hit anybody. But usually if I get so mad I want to hit somebody, I hit myself. Like, not like slap myself, I just hit something and it hurts me. Which is kind of good that I work at a labor place, because usually when I get really mad, I work even faster because I'm so pissed off. I need to get rid of that angry energy. So that's good. But I had to leave because I got so pissed off, and now it's just so awkward. And one of the guys, this is a little update. I haven't been working with Justin, the one I got into an argument with, a really bad argument with. Probably one of the worst, to be honest. Really bad, because we were all up in our faces, like yelling at each other. And then one of the people that came with us, the other lead that was brought by Justin to be a witness, he actually left. I hope it wasn't my fault, because Edwin is really overprotective over me, and I think it's just because I'm like a tryhard, so that's probably why. So I really hope it wasn't my fault. Again, here I go thinking everything is about me. Like, dude. But wouldn't it suck so bad? Like, I can't help it, because there's been, every time I argue with somebody, they eventually leave. And it's like, am I a bad omen? Like, why doesn't Justin leave? Like, I wouldn't mind if he left. I don't work with him till Sunday, so I don't know. But he's been really weird about it. Like, he's like lingers glaring at me. I can't walk away, and I have to glare back because I don't want him to think I'm scared of him or something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Just some bunch of petty bullshit. We never really get out of high school, do we? Whatever. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.